Hey there, this is Michael with the October 2022 reading for Sagittarius Sun, Moon, and Rising. I hope you are all doing fabulously. I hope this Mercury retrograde hasn't hit you too hard in September. Honestly, it feels like I'm just kind of recovering from it now. Mercury is going to be going direct on October 2nd. We also have Pluto and Saturn going direct this month as well, so a lot of forward moving energy. We also have an eclipse on the 25th in the sign of Scorpio. And finally, we even have Mars going retrograde in your opposite sign in Gemini. So there's a lot of gears that are shifting this month, and it's going to be really helpful to reference the astrology. If you want to kind of follow date by date, you can definitely check the blog in the description box down below, where you can also find links for personal readings, Reiki sessions, as well as all of the decks that I use. This month we are going to be using the Modern Love Tarot, and I think there's just going to be a lot of really big messages coming forward this month. What do we have for Sagittarius? We have the Five of Pentacles showing up first. Some of you feel like you've been putting in a lot of work and effort and it just hasn't been paying off. Really, really interesting energy because we have been in Virgo season throughout September, and we do technically have a little Virgo energy even at the start of October here with Mercury in the sign of Virgo. And so for a lot of you, I am actually picking something up about like work or just how you've been spending your energy and maybe feeling like something isn't going your way or feeling left out in the cold, like you're being unsupported in some fashion. I feel like a lot of you are feeling quite alone, actually, or you felt alone. You've even felt forsaken, is a word that's coming up. Let me clarify. Why is the Five of Pentacles here? The World. This feels really big. Wow. I feel like a lot of you have had almost like a spiritual crisis or a crisis of faith, actually. And that could be triggered by something going on in your daily life, but it's almost like just one more chapter in kind of a saga that has been challenging for the group that I am connecting with. And again, these are general readings, so that not all of these messages will apply. But if you've been going through a hard time, I feel like a lot of you are kind of at this point where you just feel like the universe has abandoned you. And maybe you know that's not true, or maybe you don't want to feel this way. And I feel like some of you really need to come back to faith, reconnect with your faith. Nine of Cups. Yeah, you need to take care of yourself. You need to do the things that make you happy. And honestly, Sagittarius, you are such a big picture sign. I feel like the advice for October, interestingly enough, is actually reconnecting with things and doing things that make you happy just for the simple pleasure of the happiness and joy that they bring you. And it doesn't always have to be this huge existential thing. You don't always have to be moving your energy towards something that is productive or that society says is productive. Because I'm feeling like there's some sort of burnout there, honestly. And you know, Sagittarius really can push themselves. They can be a workhorse. You know, they are the archer, but they're also the horse, the centaur, if you will. And I feel like you kind of need to slow down a little bit. We actually have quite a bit going on with your mental health this month, especially later on when we are in Scorpio season. This solar eclipse in Scorpio is really going to help you gauge where you are psychologically as well as spiritually. We do have the King of Cups. And this did show up in reverse. I'm not really reading reversals, but I feel like a lot of you are starting to embody this energy this month. This very emotionally composed energy. And again, when I think of the King of Cups, you might be going through a lot and other people have no idea. That's kind of a vibe I was picking up on before I hit record and was just kind of connecting with your energy. That there might be a lot going on. You might even be helping other people or supporting other people with the Five of Pentacles, but you feel unsupported in some way. And it's important for you to start taking care of yourself or to come back to the things that help you regulate or feel calm or collected. And I do feel like meditation is a huge part of that too. But it really could be anything that fills you up with joy, anything that is self-care. That in and of itself is like a form of meditation for you this month. It's interesting that this is showing up in Libra season, because Libra for you astrologically does represent your social support system. It can represent friendships, it can represent social media, it can represent acquaintances. Libra, which is your 11th house, is really the ways that the universe supports you. And very often that comes through people that you meet or people that you know. And I feel like the universe is trying to support you right now in ways that you might not be recognizing. And you almost need to slow down. Slow your roll a little bit. We have the Strength card here as well. Yeah, there's a lot of composure. You're very strong. And I don't think people realize that. Like, people might see you, they might know there's stuff going on in your life, but I don't think they realize just how much you have been dealing with and how much you have been feeling. And I'm a Sagittarius moon myself. I know that we can do that. We can seem very distant. We can seem very like cool, calm, collected. Yeah, whatever, like a little disconnected from our emotions. But I actually feel like with this group, you are feeling things very deeply. You're just not letting that weigh down other people. But I think you do need to take care of yourself. Yeah, 5 of Cups. And not for nothing, Sagittarius, Scorpio season just isn't generally the easiest season for you because it represents your mental health, your psyche, your subconscious, the things you don't know that you don't even know. And there could just be all of these emotions and all of these things coming up, and Scorpio energy definitely has a sting to it. And with this eclipse, there's just a lot of really big energy, right? And with Jupiter, your ruling planet, going retrograde back into the sign of Pisces, where it will be for another month or so, there really is this need to come home to yourself. And there's like this rich inner world for you that other people don't see. And maybe that's why you feel disconnected. Maybe you feel alone, not even because there's not people around you. It's just so hard to communicate and to share what's really happening. And for some of you, this King of Cups could actually represent someone you are confiding in or someone you are talking to, especially Scorpio energy, but could also be Cancer or Pisces energy, or just someone who has a lot of wisdom and a lot of emotional intelligence. And I'm not trying to make this sound like, oh, you're being so strong by hiding your emotions. It actually takes quite a deal of strength and courage to be vulnerable and to express yourself. But for some reason, I am getting this thread with this group where it's like, no, there really might be people who don't know how to support you. And it could almost be more damaging trying to get support from people who don't understand you, or from people who really just don't have the spoons or the emotional resources to help you. So with the King of Cups here, I feel like it's very important for you to talk to people who can be in almost a mentor role for you. So this reminds me of a therapist. This reminds me of a coach. This reminds me of a teacher of some kind someone who isn't necessarily your peer or your equal, someone you are working with, or someone who's working with you. Yeah, we have the Hierophant. This is very often a card of a spiritual teacher. I feel like there is this spiritual awakening. And there is a teacher or some sort of practice or belief system that you are connecting with that is helping you. You really are, in a very beautiful and almost cracked open way, just in this state of surrender and like on your knees in reverence to the universe and to creation, whether we call that God or source. And you're just like, okay, I get it. I can't do this anymore. Something needs to change. It was 11:11 when I said that on the timer here, by the way. There's a big spiritual shift for this group. There's a very big shift. And I know for Sagittarius, the energy has been really focused on self-care this year. And even kind of recovering from the past couple of years, you've been shedding a lot. You may feel like there's nothing left to release. There's nothing left to be stripped from or stripped of. And then there's one more thing. But it's not from this place of victimhood or from this place of feeling defeated anymore. You are bowing with great reverence to something. You are letting yourself be transformed. And many of you are on a path of spiritual initiation where you are being forged by the fires. And in this forging process, it's so easy to grieve what was lost or what's been taken, but you are turning your gaze towards what is being shaped, what is being formed by this fire. I'm going to pull some oracle cards for you as well. What are the oracle cards for Sagittarius? We have the octopus. I did actually get a 7 of Swords here earlier too that I forgot to talk about. I feel like there is a controlling energy that some of you are slipping away from. For some of you, this is actually your own emotions. You're no longer being dragged down by your emotions. And that's not the same. I'm not saying you're escaping them or dissociating from them. It's like you're observing them. And you are so present that you're no longer identified with your emotions, in the sense that you may be having and experiencing emotions, but you aren't the emotion, right? I really do feel like some of you are talking to a therapist or a coach or a mentor or a reader or someone who is like helping you kind of see things from a bigger picture. I'm going to be honest. I actually feel like the octopus energy is also kind of your own energy. I did say that earlier, but I feel like you're trying to hold on. You're trying to grab on to anything that feels solid, and it just keeps slipping away. I'm getting a pretty intense energy with this group. I'm not going to lie. We also have the zebra, which is one of the cards I actually associate with your energy, interestingly enough. The zebra can represent seeing things outside of black and white, seeing the color, seeing nuance, your mind being opened in some way. Some of you may be even thinking of travel. That could be potentially something that's happening, but I really see this as you more opening your mind. Maybe you are connecting with different parts of the world, with different belief systems, but I feel like a lot of you are deep diving into psychology or self-help or productivity, something, anything that is helping you challenge your beliefs regarding your feelings or your thoughts. Rabbit. Some of you feel stuck and maybe even a little paralyzed with fear, and whenever I see rabbit, it's like just this cute, beautiful animal that is a prey animal. So it very easily gets stuck and afraid and like kind of just this shock, this feeling. And with rabbit, it's so important that you ground your energy and that you listen, that you meditate. And meditation can look any number of ways. It doesn't always have to be about clearing your mind. Meditation can also look like open monitoring meditation, which is you actually becoming acutely aware of what is going on around you. You could do this as a walking meditation. You could do this just sitting outside and listening to the cars, the planes, the wind, the animals, the birds, the trees. Just becoming very present and kind of getting out of your head. Because I feel like it's very easy for you to get stuck in your head this month. Unicorn. Yeah, you're going through the spiritual initiation. You are seeing patterns. You are opening your third eye. And you are piercing the veil. I'm also thinking of Samhain, Halloween. The veil is very thin right now. And you are learning how to make your body a receptacle for spirit, for your own spirit, as well as your purpose. Again, big energies this month. Honestly, like, for you, Sagittarius, it feels like there's a lot that's kind of disruptive, or a lot that just feels, it's a little intense. The energy is intense for Sagittarius, at least the group I am connecting with. What is the oracle? We'll pull from the Starseed Oracle here too. Seas of Mintaka. Seeing potential, bringing unconscious to light. Yeah, this really is like the scorpionic energy for you. This feels really important to talk about. And it's like you're looking at the things that have kind of been beneath the surface and really seeing them in the eye. And maybe that's kind of scared you for some time, because it's like, you're shedding, you're releasing something. And it's almost like, with the octopus energy, I kind of think of like the finger trap analogy, where it's like the more you try to resist this energy, the more you try to get yourself out of something, the more stuck you get. And it's by really leaning into the experience, really observing it from a neutral state of mind. That's when you're able to release yourself from it. So I'm going to read this card, the Seas of Mintaka. Mintaka is thought to have been a water-based planet containing the most crystal clear waters you could ever imagine. So clear you could see for miles and miles underwater. The Seas of Mintaka card represents this crystalline clarity of potential and possibility. It's all about the ability and choice to see the potential in all people and situations. This could be one of your natural traits, or it could be a sign, that what you're currently doing has great potential. Mintakans are thought to have been a galactic race who saw the light in everything and everyone. You may have received this card as confirmation that a situation or project has extreme potential and will reach fruition. If it appears in a spread, it's a very positive sign that things are working out for the highest potential of all involved. It's very uplifting, light-filled, and brings great harmony, contentment, and positive outcomes. According to Carl Jung, that which we do not bring to consciousness appears in our life as fate. When water appears in dreams and art, it often represents the unconscious mind. Pulling this card also means that you may be called to bring to light any unconscious patterns of which you're unaware. To look at them and see them clearly and consciously so they don't appear in your life as fate. What unconscious patterns or behaviors are ready to be brought to the light of day? How can you see the potential in a situation you're facing? What unconscious patterns are you being called to bring to light? And I know this is a super cliche thing, but it really is like, instead of seeing life as what is happening to you, it is what is happening for you. And I know that can kind of come across as spiritual bypassing. I know that's not always a healthy way. That is something that can actually be a destructive thought process. But I feel like, in a very genuine way, Sagittarius, you're almost in this surrendered energy, and I think that has to do with Jupiter going into the sign of Pisces. Jupiter is your ruling planet. You're very affected by what it's doing. Jupiter is entering Pisces on the 28th. And you're kind of taking on this very dreamy, watery quality. You're allowing things to be dissolved. You're allowing things to come to the light of day. You're seeing patterns and beliefs that you've reincarnated from childhood or your earliest conditioning, and you are detaching from them. And you are seeing so much more potential when you do that. And it's like, you feel like you're going to dive deep and there's going to be all of this dark and creepy stuff. But honestly, Sagittarius, what this really feels like to me is like, when you finally look in the eye, it's not dark at all. It's not as scary. It's not nearly as painful as you thought it would be. And so trust in the universe, trust in yourself, trust in this part of you that is greater than your ego. The part of you that is the universe perceiving itself. And those are all the messages I am getting for you this month, Sagittarius. I do hope that this was helpful. It seems like it gave a lot to think about. All of my links are in the description box down below if you're looking for a personal reading or a distance Reiki session with me. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care, Sagittarius. I'm sending all my love and blessings your way.